Hey guys, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under, and today we're going to be looking at the top 10 new free-to-play PC games for 2019 and beyond, in no particular order. The vast majority of these games have not been featured on my previous list before, so make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more videos on free-to-play games. Splitgate Arena Warfare is a love child of Halo and Portal, simple as that. A sci-fi themed first-person shooter with gameplay mechanics that feel extremely similar to Halo, but then add in a Portal mechanic where you can pull off insane moves that your opponent won't expect. It's a weird combination, but it really works, as it makes you think in a completely different way to most other first-person shooters by having to plan out your portal positions and flanking routes. For a game that came as an open beta only a couple of months ago, it really does hit the mark and is most definitely an underrated game that you should check out. Rocket Arena is a very weird game. It's part Quake, part Smash, and all about chaos. The premise is that every weapon is a projectile and you don't have a traditional life bar, so therefore Rocket Arena doesn't function like a traditional first-person shooter at all. If you take enough damage or you get knocked off the map, you'll get finished a la Smash style by being booted all the way to the outskirts, and then you have to wait a few seconds before being let back into the game, which can turn the tide in objective based mode. It's a big difference to most first person shooters where you die and respawn. Here you never die, you just get knocked out and put back into the game. There's also many classes to play around within Rocket Arena with different abilities which shakes up the gameplay, turning Rocket Arena into not exactly an original experience, but an enjoyable one nevertheless. Kurzweil is a game that I have featured in the past, but finally the game is now available in open beta on Steam for everyone to play. For those who don't know about this game, Kurzweil is an anime-inspired MMORPG from KOG Games, the makers of the old school MMO L-Sword. The most apparent aspect of this game is the graphics, which are extremely colourful and anime inspired. The gameplay goes and backs this up, with combat and movement being at breakneck speed with massive combos to boot where you swap between two forms known as karmas. The art of swapping back and forth keeps you on your toes and makes sure that the combat is always interesting. You go for a few long range shots with the crossbow, then swap to a sword, get up close and personal, back off, rinse and repeat, then add in the massive combos and the fluid movement, and it really does add to the eye candy. Overall, Kurzweil was an amazingly looking game. Not many games hit the anime levels of insane combat, but overall Kurzweil does just that, and is definitely a must play for any anime or MMO fan. Iron Sight is a game that keeps appearing on my channel, and for good reason. It's a fantastic free-to-play first-person shooter for people who want some major Call of Duty vibes. This game has cropped up on some of my previous lists before, but I had to go and talk about it again because the game is finally on Steam, and now split into two different versions. The main Iron Sight version is for North American, South American, and European players, and currently yes, the Steam page is available, however the download is not available, so if you want to play Iron Sight from those regions, you have to download it from the official site. However, for Asian players, the Asian version is currently live on Steam, so you can go on the page if you're in that region, download it, it's very seamless and it gets you right in game. Regardless of what version you play, Iron Sight is one of the best free-to-play first-person shooters out there. The combat is crisp, the class customization is detailed, and the maps and modes are extensive. The problems with the netcode have been for the most part fixed, and the addition of Asian servers have really helped out the community. Overall, Iron Sight is in a really good state now, and so I suggest checking it out if you're a Call of Duty fan. One game you probably didn't expect to be on this list is this one, StarCraft 2. The legendary strategy game doesn't get as much talk as it should, especially because it went free to play in 2017, a change that went completely under the radar. Known around the world as one of the most difficult games out there, StarCraft 2 puts you in the driver's seat, controlling an army and their units in an attempt to destroy the enemy. The amount of depth to this game is insane, and 9 years after its release, there are still new strategies being developed and things being discovered. While the multiplayer might be a bit daunting, StarCraft 2 has an impressive campaign component that will ease you into the game and is guaranteed to provide you hours of fun. Apex Legends is a game that made a massive splash with its AAA quality gameplay, free-to-play entry point, and addictive first-person shooter battle royale format. However, it simmered down after a lack of updates. It just kind of got released and then no updates for a while and people were just shaking their heads. Introduce Apex Legends Season 2, the biggest patch so far. There is new weapons, a new legend called Wattson, a ton of weapon changes, a ranked mode, and of course some big variations to the map, all summing up to a pretty sick update. Apex Legends has always been a game for people that don't like the building and cartoonish nature of Fortnite and the slow-paced nature of PUBG, as Apex has frantic combat in various classes, ensuring each match is going to be different from the last. Add on the extremely fair monetization system, and Apex Legends is definitely worth your time, especially because it's a great first-person shooter. Add on the Battle Royale, add on the no pay to win. Overall, it is a very well-rounded package. When it comes to game genres right now, the flavor of the month is auto battlers, and Dota Underlords is one of the most popular ones right now. Based in the Dota universe, in Underlords you form an army by buying units and forming compositions where you try to take down the rest of the players in the match. In direct contrast to normal Dota, you don't actually control the units, rather you place them in specific starting positions, equip items and upgrade them, so it plays like a battle arena version of a strategy game. While personally this is not my auto battler of choice, we'll talk about why later on, Underlords is a very solid game and the Steam reviews are extremely positive, so if you're a Dota fan, I highly suggest checking it out. Let's move on to the next game, and that's Destiny 2, the looter-based first-person shooter going free to play. Originally a pay-to-play game, the base Destiny 2 will be changed into a free version, which includes all the Year 1 missions, activities, and rewards. While future expansions will be paid, all of the original content will be going free to play, and that's amazing. On top of that, Destiny 2 will be ditching Battle.net and going onto Steam, which is another great move. Now this sounds absolutely fantastic, but the tiny problem is that these changes are happening on September the 17th, so there will be a little bit of time before it actually goes free to play. But I wanted to make sure you guys know about it so you can be prepared. The Life is Strange series is a fantastic demonstration of a story-driven adventure, and the awesome adventures of Captain Spirit is no exception to that standard. Set in the same universe, this game focuses on a young boy called Chris Erican and his superhero alter ego called Captain Spirit, where he projects his imagination onto reality after the death of his mother. Generally, I don't feature games like this, mainly because they just don't exist in the free-to-play space, nor do I actually play titles like this that much, but I had a fantastic time, an amazing time, for the half an hour or so that this game runs for. The graphics are beautiful, and the main character Chris is a lovable character, which heavily contrasts with the dire situation his family is in. The amount of things you can do is actually quite a lot for what was basically a demo. You can go and play the little games, you can go outside and you can kind of piece together his universe, but also piece together what's happening to his father, what's happening to the people around him. And when you go and see the actual situation, the actual reality sets in, and it is a little bit moving. I highly suggest this if you love dialogue-driven games, and even if you're not a big fan of this genre, make sure to go and give it a go to see what you're missing out, because I'm not a big player of these type of games. I mostly play first-person shooters and MOBAs, so I played this, real no expectations. I hop in, really enjoyed it, and now I'm probably gonna go back and play some more of these type of games and expand my horizons, so that might happen to you, so go and check it out. It's free, of course. Before we get to our honorable mentions, I just want to say that if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe to the channel for more top 10s and videos on free-to-play content. More than 94% of you guys and girls aren't subscribed to the channel, and it would be awesome if you could join our community. On top of that, make sure to comment below what your favourite game so far from this list is. I'll be reading and replying to as many comments as possible. Quake 2 was released more than 20 years ago, and it's one damn good game. So Nvidia decided it would be the perfect title to showcase their new RTX technology, otherwise known as ray tracing. On the surface, this seems like a very small thing, but ray tracing significantly improves the lighting performance of games, and it has a significant effect on this one in particular because the game, given it's so old, they can completely utilize this new technology. It's also been used in games like Battlefield 5, but the effect there is so small given that if you apply it to the whole game, no computer would be able to go and run it. Now personally, I'm stuck on a 970, so I couldn't try this game out. But if you have an RTX card, you can download Quake 2 for free on Steam. Now with that said, if you have the original Quake 2 in your library, you can apply this render patch to the whole game. Otherwise, you can just go and download the demo, which includes free campaign missions, so you don't need the actual game on your computer. Now for the majority of us watching this video, it's a free to play video. We're not going to have the beefiest graphics card out there, so the majority of us, it's going to be out of reach. But this is a really cool idea, and if you have an RTX card, I highly suggest to go and check it out. Of all the games on this list, Teamfight Tactics is the one that I have been playing the most. I've been playing so much Teamfight Tactics lately. This game is an auto brawler that is similar to Dota Underlords, and you can place minions on the board to form team compositions and destroy the enemy. It's basically the same description as I said with Dota Underlords. Now comparing the two games, the concepts are very, very similar. So please don't take any placement in this list as this game is better than Underlords. I just didn't want to go and talk about the two games back to back. Now I have been playing a lot of this game. It's super fun seeing champions from League of Legends in this mode and trying out weird and wacky ideas to win the match by doing all these cool different strats. It is a different way to go and play video games. On a different note though, Teamfight Tactics is not a separate game and is actually part of the League of Legends client, which could be a positive or a negative. Dota Underlords is actually separate from the Dota 2 client, so you can just go and download the 700 megabytes whatever onto any computer, but for League, you gotta download the whole thing. Personally, I simply play this game more because I have more hours on League, but overall the auto battler genre is extremely fun and I really can't wait to see where it goes in the future. I feel like it's a great introduction into strategy games in a more encapsulated environment without the massive scope that you get in titles like Command and Conquer and Total War and stuff like that. It's strategy on a much smaller playing field and it's really fun, so make sure to go and check it out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure to go and subscribe for more top 10s, more free to play videos, more free to play content, and so on. But other than that, this is Undercover Dudes all the way from Down Under.